correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
Welcome to Me and Steve Talk RPG, the podcast where me and my friend Steve...
We're playing games this time.
Before we begin, I want to take a moment to acknowledge something important. The setting of this campaign, Origin, is inspired by West African cultures, histories, and aesthetics. None of the players, and certainly not myself, have lived experience or even ancestry from that part of the world. While Origin is part of the canonical setting for Exalted, I've drawn on real-world West African traditions to help bring the setting more fully to life. This isn't meant to be an accurate historical or cultural portrayal, and it is definitely not a commentary on any real-world nations, peoples, or beliefs. One key difference is theological. While Timbuktu and the surrounding regions were deeply shaped by the arrival of Islam, Exalted has its own divine and mythological structure that plays out very differently. My hope is to approach these inspirations with respect and care, and I welcome feedback if I fall short. In the session notes, there will be a short list of resources to learn about the real history of West Africa and the Sahel. Thank you. All right. I guess we can start playing then. So, you guys had spent the night in the caravanserai, where Silver Owl had gotten lodging for everybody associated with his caravan. And in the morning, the 15th of Ascending Water, Mofid Parviz is going to be, expresses the desire to go pay his respects at the various temples. So the other two of you don't really, I believe, aren't that excited about that. And because finding temples is very, very easy because they're all in easily accessible places around the central square of the city. You have Little Bat with you, who would like to know if you have considered his uncle's offer.
Well, I think we've considered it, and the cause seems worthy in my estimation, but I don't, there's, info to be gathered for certain.
And he goes, nods. And he just nods and says, excellent. This evening, my uncle has some people he'd like you to meet with.
Very good.
But where do you want to go today, and what do you want to do?
He was there for the conversation with his uncle, right? Like, he was privy to all of that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like perhaps we should observe some of this trade, which is, seems to be a center to your uncle's cause. Perhaps we go to the bazaar, the trade districts, and see the wares and observe, talk to people.
He smiles and nods and says, "Oh, the bazaar is definitely. It's not what it will be next week for the festival, but even on an ordinary day, there's something to see and something to buy for any taste and any style." And so he takes you all to the main bazaar street, or the main bazaar, which is a plaza, and it is packed. You hear vendors calling out, mostly in the Origin dialect of Flame Tongue, but some others. You smell everything imaginable, from animal droppings to exotic and rare spices, incense. You look to the left and you see a man buying bolts of fabric. You look to the right and you see two people arguing over delivery clauses for a shipment of wheat. On the corner, there is there are several street performers out, mostly singing with accompaniment from an instrument, but some don't have that. What draws your eye first?
Well, Cyclone, I'm looking more to get a feel for, because if I'm not mistaken, we had been told that the guards, the police force, were now basically all mercenaries under the employ of the guy who came back and took back over Gem.
Mm-hmm.
Who's
Rankar.
Rankar, yes. Thank you.
Yeah. It looks like the folks. There are some folks guarding the bazaar, and there's a almost like a storefront there of where deals above a certain size have to be registered. If you're dealing with anything above like 10 dinar has to be registered there. And there are some kind of imposing looking men there, and there are patrols of the same men walking around in groups of 4 or 5. And they're, board guards with no real restrictions on how they behave. So they're not doing anything crazy, but strolling by, grabbing a piece of fruit off of something.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I said that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm more trying to get a vibe of how they're behaving relative to the merchants. Are they being belligerent, or is it, get a vibe of their behavior relative to the populace. Also looking, because, like knows like, to see if there are, essentially looking for potential ways to make contact to the underworld, which would have to be here.
Yeah. You do note some merchants that seem to be a little suspect, like something doesn't quite add up about how they're doing business. The guards aren't outwardly belligerent, although Little Bat says, it's a good day. It seems the Daggerwind Company has guard of the bazaar today. And he sort of kicks a rock a little bit. How should I put this? They're more professional than many of the other groups. And he says, if you're here on a day the Red Fang are watching this place, then do your business and get out. They're a little more prone to being heavy-handed. They're, like you said, they're more professional. They're not causing problems, but also, you see, they do seem to react when somebody calls thief, and you observe somebody hauling away from a fruit vendor's stand, and the mercenaries grab him and sort of administer some kind of street justice, punch him a couple of times, and grab the piece of fruit back and tell him to stop causing trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of thing. So not too out of the ordinary, but also you notice the merchants are unnaturally deferential to them. Like, usually, in cities that you've been in where the merchants dominate the city council and the city council hires mercenaries, there's I wouldn't say they do the Karen number of, I pay your salary, but they aren't as deferential. They're respectful, but not deferential. Here, it's deference, and tinged with a little bit of fear.
Okay, so, and based on Little Bat's information, these are the best of the bunch.
Yes.
So, again, as we're going about through the course of this whole time in here, anything like, am I seeing anything that would indicate like protection rackets, that type of stuff going on?
No. They the mercenaries don't seem to be in the mood for dealing with competition. So any protection racket would probably get shut down pretty quickly.
Well, I'm saying even more by the
by the mercenaries. No. You don't see evidence that they are like demanding payment from the merchants themselves. You do see several instances where they are given what you thought was a unusually high discount.
Okay. So they're not liked, but maybe this company is tolerated better than others. It's information though that. So, Little Bats, do these mercenary groups work on a regular rotation, or every so many days they change, or anything like that, or?
He says, usually every week a new company takes, they rotate assignments weekly. And then special circumstances, like last year during the festival, almost all the mercenaries were out watching the festival, like to make sure that nothing interrupted trade and to make sure that Gem got their cut.
So how heavily, what is Gem's cut? Do you know? I know your uncle is a trader, but...
He says, well, Gem receives 3/4 of the gate fees, the fees for bringing a caravan into the city, which are based on a percentage of the value of the goods. They also tax every transaction above a certain point. Every registered transaction of 10 dinars or more, they tax that as well. It basically comes out to, from what my uncle says, it's twice what the old origin cut was. There's always taxes. That's the nature of nobles and lords and governments, but it has doubled in the since origin began dominating our trade.
So, I mean, I like I said, I think at this point we're kind of wandering about, looking at things. I mean, I didn't have anything specific as far as coming to the bazaar to look to purchase anything. Did you, Smiles?
No, I mean, Finn's going to just be, sampling the local wares. He's, drink and food. If there was noted to be an interest in the mercenaries, I mean, he's going to size them up as any fighter would be, just to see, like, what their discipline looks like, how heavily armed are they, things like that.
Yeah, the patrols seem to be composed of a mix of infantry carrying spears, shields, and short swords, and soldiers wielding flame wands. Probably 4 or 5 spearmen for every flame wand, and that's like your standard patrol. Like they have a ranged support, and the soldiers aren't wearing armor because, well, it's not that kind of place. But I think Finn would be able to just look at the wear patterns on their uniforms and agree that and realize that they normally wear armor, but that's more for serious combat rather than, keeping an eye on a bunch of merchants.
So these are pretty formal soldiers, just kind of toned down for public policing.
Yeah. And they seem to be reasonably disciplined. Yeah, they're like strolling and talking and whatever, but whenever there's any sort of disturbance, they they lock it in and they react very well. These guys are you know, it kind of backs up what Little Bat was saying about how they're more professional than some of the other.
Mm-hmm.
There's also, you guys will actually, let me cut away from that to another traveler who has entered Origin and has also been directed to the bookstore of Sangare Kumba. And we sort of hone in on this where Sangare Kumba is saying, you know, I wish I could help you, but I have not seen a full and complete copy of that work in a long time. The Great Library has one that is partial, but a complete one, we don't know. And the old scarred male lion that has been sort of lounging and pretty much ignoring you guys' conversation suddenly stands up and his eyes start glowing gold. And he says in a voice that sounds even deeper than a lion's voice would,
"Chosen of the sun, another in this city. Go to the bazaar where more of your kind await."
Jen, how does she react to that?
I've heard the stories about the lions, correct?
Yes, you know that they're sacred. They are considered conduits of divine will from time to time. Yes.
Okay. In that case, I will bow politely to the lion. I thank you for your words, and I will heed them.
The lion is kind of blinking, and the gold color has dropped from his eyes, and he just goes. Did himself have a message for you?
He did. And I thank you. And again, bow politely, and then I'll turn to the shopkeeper, and I'll bow again. I thank you for your time. I am apparently needed elsewhere.
She smiles and says, "It is rare to receive an omen so directly. Not to heed it would be unwise."
I appreciate that. And I appreciate your time. I will be back, I'm sure.
Okay. Shooting back to the bazaar, we notice that Little Bat and the characters have moved out of the main crush off into a little bit of a corner to do some more people watching. And Little Bat brightens up with a grin and gestures at another, I don't know, yeah, I would call it a kid. And he says, "Ah, that one's Toma. His father trades in salt and figs with the southern caravans. Sharp ears, sharper tongue. He'll try to pick your pockets and your secrets in the same breath. But he's a good friend of mine." And the boy, let me get a perception awareness from both of you that are present.
I'm trying to remember how to roll in this thing.
Okay.
Awareness, perception.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if this is the right way to do it.
Okay. Yeah. Breakwater notices this kid is incredibly nervous, and he's shaking. But what Cyclone notices is that there is an adult following him, half hidden behind a spice cart. And he's moving. His knives are printing on his clothing, and he is moving like the sort of guy who's been trained to use them properly.
Mm-hmm.
And as you guys notice this, Toma runs up to Bat and says, Bat, I think I did something stupid. I didn't mean to. I was just near this tea house, and I heard some things, and now someone's following me. I don't know. And he looks at you two, and then sort of takes a step back, like he is poised to run away instantly. He says, you said I should tell you. And little Bat nods and says, These are my clients and good people. They'll slow down and tell me what happened. At that point, Steve, Cyclone notices this guy has decided to catch up to the kid.
Okay. So I think, real quickly, Cyclone, just little Bat, get your friend somewhere. His pursuer means him harm.
Little Bat like blinks and says, I'll take him to his father's.
And I will attempt to, what do you want to say, like step as they're moving, kind of intentionally position myself to kind of obscure their path, I guess.
He doesn't really like acknowledge you. He just sort of moves his route to try to circle around you and go after the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, it is definitely obvious enough that Breakwater is going to notice as well.
He'll kind of just, he's probably got like a turkey leg or something in one hand and just kind of sticks his other hand out. And like I said, Breakwater's a fairly large man, so he just kind of sticks his arm out to kind of give the guy a pause. He's like, oh, watch yourself there.
And he looks at you and says, I'm sorry. Can I help you, stranger?
You're the one who almost ran into me. You gotta watch yourself. You're gonna wind up causing trouble out here. You don't like trouble. He's kind of like pointing the turkey leg at him.
He says, you've confused me for someone else. My home is that direction. I must go.
Why are your knives readied? You're just going home.
And you see him glance at where Little Bat is practically dragging Toma away.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, what business is it of yours, Outlander?
I don't want to get poked with those things.
I have never poked someone with a knife unintentionally.
Well, the first time for everything. You need to be careful. You wouldn't want these guards mistaking you for some vagabond, would you?
He says, I will take your opinion under advisement. Now excuse me, sir.
Well, just so happens we're going that way as well, so how about we follow you?
How about you don't and mind your own business?
He's a prickly sword, isn't he?
He is now almost... Little Bat and Toma are almost to an intersection where there are like 5 different ways they could be going, and he makes a break to get past Breakwater. Are you going to let him, or are you going to stop him?
He's gonna try to stop him. He's still trying to give the impression he's, just kind of being a bumbling foreigner, but he is going to try and like physically interpose himself. Like, whoa, watch! You're almost stuck me. What are you doing?
Yeah, and he's good and he's trained, but he's immortal, and so if Finn wants to interpose himself, he can do it. It doesn't need a dice roll. So he says, his voice goes low, and he says, get out of here. You are interfering in things you do not understand. And he is starting to reach for his knives. So what are you two doing?
Well, he's gonna kind of lean. That's like, well, I might not be too bright. My friend here is. You can feel free to explain them without the knives, and he's gonna just kind of definitely show up that he's larger and just kind of lean down toward him. Definitely trying to be intimidating.
Mm-hmm. He pulls the knife and makes a quick stab at Finn's belly.
Okay.
We're not going into the full combat sequence for a single mortal.
All right. I mean, I don't even know if he'd. So, I mean, trying to think if he'd really even try to stop him, just kind of showing that he's a lot stronger. But he'd probably like try to put his hand down and like grab the guy's wrist if he's able to.
He's got Solar Brawl. I'm pretty sure he's able to.
Mm.
Yeah, he's got 4 dots of Brawl. This guy's an assassin. He's probably got 2 dots of melee and 2 dots of, dexterity. So, you grab his wrist and you notice there is some sort of sticky resin along the edge of the knife. You're 99% sure he's got a poison. His knives are poisoned.
Can he kind of squeeze down the wrist to make him drop the knife?
Yes,
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Are you going to squeeze down enough to make his hand go numb, or are you going to squeeze down enough to break his wrist?
He's going to make it go numb. He's not really looking to hurt him too much just yet.
You see, he gets this very, what the hell is going on look on his face. Steve, what's Cyclone up to?
I think as the knife drops, I think Cyclone just catches it in midair, picks it up, and is looking at it, but intentionally to where, the blade is between him and this individual's face. This type of blade, one must be very careful charactering that they don't poke themselves.
He makes to jerk away from Breakwater.
He'd probably he'll kind of let him apply the force, then let go, and then takes another bite of his turkey leg, or whatever leg it is.
He pulls his other knife, and now he's going after Cyclone.
Okay. I think given what Cyclone does, it's perfectly right to just kind of sidestep and knock the blade out of his hand, so to speak. Not like a judo move, but just, so to speak, kind of sidestep and like a some sort of, disarming strike. Even with the pommel of his knife that I've picked up.
Yeah. And he does. Okay, that's not too difficult. He's not going to lay hands on a solar with 5 dots of dodge. It's just not going to happen. And so now he is pissed off. And he sort of shakes his wrist, and another knife falls out of another sheath, and he is coming at you again.
Did I just have Finn hit him with the turkey leg in the face?
I mean, sure. I don't see why not.
Just seems very appropriate.
Give me a strength roll, just bare strength, because damn.
That does it.
Even with a poor roll, 2 successes, he staggers backwards, and you hear a crunch coming from his mouth, and a look of horror on his face. And he starts to mutter prayers as he collapses, vomits, and then stops breathing. Jen.
Yeah, I just got back, so yes.
So, Breakwater hit him in the face with a turkey leg, and he collapsed, vomited, and stopped breathing. And you saw this, you're probably 20 or 30 feet away. You're headed up the alley, having already seen a teenager and a kid hauling butt the other way. And these 2 large, obvious foreigners engaged with not fighting, but he's trying to fight. They weren't really trying to fight. So, what is everyone's reaction to seeing this guy collapse?
Finn just kind of looks at the turkey leg, tosses it down. It's like, well, that was a waste.
Initially, I want to look at the dagger that he tried to, just wherever it fell, to see if that one shows, does it have some sort of something on it as well? Or was it just the main one?
His 2 main daggers are poisoned. The one from his wrist sheath was not.
Okay. I think at this point, he's also kind of looking around to see, are these guards somewhere? I mean, the Merc patrols, anything like that.
None of them.
You don't want to just leave a dead body, but
none of them have appeared to notice yet. Jen, what is Saelen doing?
I've seen this interaction, and now this man is on the ground.
Yes, has vomited. He's on the ground and has vomited.
Well, that's not normal. So I will go ahead and start kind of seeing if I can slip through the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And get...
Well,
okay.
This is kind of a winding alley. It's not nearly as crowded.
Ah, okay. Apologies, I may have missed the description in dealing with a child. In that case, I'll go ahead and head down the alley, and if I have to duck between the two other gentlemen, excuse me, I'm a healer. Let me through.
He appears to have been up to no good, but do what you will. Didn't mean to harm the man.
Well, not to that extent.
Well, right. I mean, good heavens. You hit him with food.
There are places where people would be grateful for that.
You might want to be careful. He appears to have been carrying at least 2 poisoned weapons, so be careful of pokey things on his person.
Thank you. Did you notice anything else? Did he appear to be feverish? Did he make any strange gestures before he collapsed? And I'm going to be asking this as I'm basically running a basic comprehensive exam.
He tried to stab both of us, and to make a long story short, he appeared to have ill intent towards a friend of our guide. We simply attempted to slow him down so that he would lose his pursuit.
Thank you.
In the process of your examination, you discover that he had a hollow wooden bead in his mouth, and you suspect poison.
Okay. So, since I suspect poison, and the fact that I have this gentleman with his symptoms in front of me, flawless diagnosis technique, would that be useful in determining?
Yes, it would.
Excellent. In that case, I will go ahead and I will use flawless diagnosis technique. Give me just a moment. It's a medicine perception, so I go ahead and roll that. And I don't think I'm gonna use any particular bonuses. I'll throw a couple notes at it.
All right. Oh, good lord. Yeah. Okay, not a problem. You do diagnose him, and it is the poison that is frequently colloquially called the silent hand. And do you see the handout up in the corner?
I do. I'm looking at it now.
All right.
And I'm going to look up at the two gentlemen. And you're certain that the symptoms, that there was no symptom before this? He wasn't foaming at the mouth or staggering prior to just a moment ago.
We only encountered him a moment ago, literally. He came up to us. As I said, he was pursuing a friend of our guide, and in an attempt to let our guide get his friend away, we merely attempted to impede his progress enough to lose the boy, and, well, he tried to stab both of us. My friend here with this dagger, and he kind of offers the one in his hand, and myself with the one laying over there.
Then just shrugs.
I see. I don't necessarily question your version of events. The reason I ask is because the poison that this man ingested from a bead apparently kept in his mouth is one that normally does not act this quickly. It's normally used, well, apparently he was hunting you, but this poison is often used to hunt big game. But the symptoms are spread out for half an hour or more. This particular effect would be a compound. Oh, what's it called? It's the poison is silent hand. It's known as silent finger, silent palm. It's incredibly potent and generally found on the black market, unless you're in gem.
Well,
I'm not entirely sure who your friend is or who they were running from, but this isn't cheap, and it's hard to get.
so is this something I would have any knowledge of, even peripherally, given what I do?
I mean, yeah, it's something that is very rare, extremely rare outside of the region, because this is where the plants grow that it's made from. But you've heard that it can be had much cheaper in this area, and that in Gem it's even bought and sold in the streets. But it takes a very skilled alchemist to make it, and as a result, it's still not very cheap.
I was thinking more, is it, and again, being foreigners, but is it something commonly used by any particular group as like a poison, a cyanide capsule type thing? Or is that outside of the scope of something I would know? Yeah,
you've never heard of anyone using it to commit suicide, or in this case, death by accident.
So is it a reasonably... I would know it's a toxin that an assassin might find extremely useful.
Yes. I would say every time you've heard of this, it's been in connection with an assassin or, somebody deliberately trying to poison another human. It's too expensive to use on anything less important.
All right, so back to the scene, so to speak. Well, I do know this is used by, assassins, frankly, but why one would be chasing a child with the intent to use such a thing would seem... Tell me, does this appear to be the same type of substance? And he'll hold the poison dagger out to you.
You can determine that it's a similar substance mixed in with gum arabic to make it sticky.
It appears to be. I would say that perhaps the poison was mixed with, and I'll lean down and kind of sniff and just kind of look at the composition of the substance. A gum arabic of some sort to coat it. Otherwise, the poison, it's kind of the same treatment they would give arrowheads when hunting big game. You mix it with something sticky to put it on the blade. So yes, I would say the chances are pretty good.
Means to keep it on the weapon.
Correct.
Well, are you a foreigner here as well?
I am. I was.
This is
I'm actually. Sorry.
I was going to say, this is a perfect time for Jen to describe what you see when you're looking at Saelen, and for Sarcastic to describe what Finn Breakwater looks like, and Old Steve to describe what Wonderful Cyclone looks like, since you guys have not met each other.
Right. So I'll go first. Wonderful Cyclone really is kind of almost remarkably average in looks, probably 5'10"-ish, kind of average build, kind of lithe, shoulder length hair that is kind of this weird blue-gray, almost like the color of storm clouds, but with some streaks of more of a gray in it. Largely, dressed in a manner that doesn't particularly call attention, very kind of utilitarian, run-of-the-mill clothes. Fairly still closely clean-shaven because he shaved yesterday. But, yeah, other than that, yeah, very, like I said, almost nondescript to a fault, if you will. Like almost conspicuously average-looking, I think, in a lot of ways.
Aggressively forgetful looking.
Yes, exactly. Now, is the chakram of size that he would carry it, like, exposed, or is that something you would, like, carry on a belt, probably under a robe?
Probably a belt, and most likely under a robe, because it's partially orichalcum, and the rest of it is jade, and that's an attention-grabbing weapon.
Okay. So, yeah, you probably aren't noticing that. But also, I would guess, even just the way he's handling the dagger, it is very comfortable in his hand. Like he's handling it like someone who has spent a lot of time handling a dagger, not just in using it, so to speak, as a tool.
Mm-hmm.
Sven is kind of on the other end of the spectrum there. He's quite noticeable. Obviously not from the area. He's a very large man, has a nice hefty bit to his abdomen. Definitely someone that looks like he has enjoyed life a bit. Does wear a tartan around him, which has seen better days. It's I don't think he's probably had it cleaned in a while, and he wears it quite often. The rest of him is pretty well cleaned and washed. He's had some time. Sports beard, and he's got his hair tied back in a braid. He does have looks like a cutlass or a scimitar next to his on his hip, and he does have a fire wand, they call it here. One tucked there, but he's
flame
also
piece.
Flame piece.
Oh.
Yeah, the fire wands are the rifle, the longer ones, right?
Yep.
So he's got a flame piece, kind of tucked there, but I assume you'd have the other one because the other one looks quite different. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
The artifact. So you could probably see that he has like a bulb in a near place to that one, but it's more hidden and covered by the tartan.
Okay.
You're what, like about 6'6", you said, right?
Yeah, like 6'6", 6'7". He's definitely a large figure. Like I said, he pretty much is direct opposite to Cyclone there.
All right. Yeah, so go ahead and continue.
Okay. As Saelen stands up, she's not terribly tall. Then again, I mean, 5'7" is tall for a woman. So 5'7", fairly slender. Her hair's kind of dark and a little bit just kind of falls around her face. One thing you do notice is she has kind of almost oversized earrings. Like they're very noticeable. They're kind of feathers, and they have contrast with the fact that she's wearing a relatively simple tunic and robe and comfortable traveling sandals. There are in two sheaths kind of in the back of her hips where you would reach back and pull them out. There's two knives, and then on the ground beside her is a satchel that's obviously standing up. It's got something in it. There's weight to it. And then perched on top of the satchel, kind of watching curiously until she reaches down and picks him up, is a rather large raven. And she'll pop them onto her shoulder and kind of, bob her head in a bow politely.
All right. You guys have a dead body, and people are starting to notice. You don't have a ton of time, but you do have some time before mercenaries show up.
We've been in this city for a little bit of time. Foreigners standing over dead body, good, bad, ugly?
Are you asking me or the other players?
I would probably, let me rephrase it then. I know that you said that this man was chasing your friend. Perhaps 3 visitors to the city standing over a dead body when the constable force arrives, or the city watch, or whatever it is they call it, might not be a particularly good look.
Probably not. Tell you what, Cyclone will just drop the poison blade onto the body, essentially just leaving it laying on him, kick the other one over towards him, and I think, let's go this way, and head down at least kind of around to the intersection where Little Bat and his friend disappeared, and try and leave that way.
Real quick, I just want to be clear. You guys are leaving the corpse without searching it.
No. I'm going to do a quick thing also. Does he have any other poisons on him? I'm going to do a quick search. I'm looking primarily for poison, something else. Just something like that. So anything that I turn up would be fantastic.
Dude, that would kind of be what going with your exam, too.
Perception investigation, because you are looking for clue. And if your investigation sucks, does anyone else's not suck?
My investigation sucks, but maybe seeing me do a quick search of the body will remind someone of, I don't know, a previous life they had, or a prophetic dream, or something like that.
Mine's not awful.
Okay.
I have 2 dots.
Better than my 0.
That's 2 dots more than I have.
Well, perception plus investigation to search the body for relevant clues.
So I have an excellency in investigation. Does that change how I roll?
That means you can add bonus dice. Up to 6 in this case. But if you better do it all from personal, because otherwise you're going to glow.
Yeah. You know what? We need to make this quick and effective, so I will... So does that go in bonuses?
Yeah.
So just put the number I'm spending?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Standard doubles, right?
Yeah.
And no automatics, correct?
No. 5 successes. You come up with 3 more hidden knives and 2 pieces of paper. One of them is a folded piece of paper tucked into his sandal, and the other appears to be a receipt. The folded piece of paper shows a string of numbers and a sigil pressed into dark lapis sealing wax. The receipt appears to be issued for services, miscellaneous, from a gem cutters guild, and it was issued to Madhu Jarek.
All right. I think, in all honesty, it's more or less just quickly rifle through, head away, and look at it, elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Usually we found, I'm sorry, how many more blades?
3 more non-poisoned blades.
I'm perfectly willing to leave those. I don't want it to look like he was
robbed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, these other 2 pieces are something. So the sigil and then a receipt, and yeah. All right. But yeah, I think then just sort of head down the alley and try to blend into a crowd, but stay in an area where we think Little Bat could find us. Because we didn't really know where he was going. We just saw where he sort of went.
Yeah. So you guys, about 15 minutes later, the body has been discovered and hauled off, and but nobody seems to have connected the 3 obvious foreigners to it. or at least nobody connected it and was willing to talk to the mercenaries about it. Mostly because nobody wants to have a conversation with the mercenaries, so, And Little Bat comes back, kind of out of breath, panting. He obviously ran back, and he sees you all and approaches. Toma is safe with his father, but he told me what he overheard. Is his pursuer dealt with?
Short answer is yes. Given the nature of his pursuer, we probably shouldn't talk about this where people can overhear us.
I know a place, and he takes you guys to a small restaurant that, like, if you were designing it to be a good place to hold covert conversations, you'd have a hard time doing it better. Mm-hmm. There's a number of, like, semi-enclosed alcoves where you can have a private conversation. The people you see in there look kind of like the people who would need to have a private conversation to get anything done.
Mm-hmm. This is a place I want to remember.
Yes, it is. So, folded piece of paper, string of numbers, and a sigil. Well, Little Bat recognizes the sigil. It matches a consortium that owns, among other things, a cheap boarding house near the Ivory Road gate. And the string of numbers, part of it is, once you start looking at it, part of it is a numerical form of a date about a month ago. And that leaves you with 3 numbers left over. 212. Yeah, 212.
Okay.
The receipt is issued to Madhu Jarek, which does not ring a bell with Little Bat. Nor have you guys heard the name in the city yet.
Mm-hmm. So it is issued to Madhu Jarek.
From a Gem Cutters Guild.
So would this be the type of thing that was given to this individual as, like, he would be Madhu Jarek, or is it more of a, like is this a sales receipt type deal?
It looks like Madhu Jarek invoiced them for these services miscellaneous.
So that's who it's from, is Madhu Jarek of the Gem Cutters Guild.
No. The Gem Cutters Guild is writing the receipt. The Gem Cutters Guild is writing the receipt. That means sorry, I'm brain dead. The Gem Cutters Guild provided services miscellaneous, and this receipt is showing that Madhu Jarek has paid the Gem Cutters Guild.
Okay. So Madhu Jarek was the client.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So tell me, Little Bat, what did your friend tell you he overheard?
He sighs. Something worth killing over, that's for sure. There's an argument between 2 men and 1 woman, and he didn't hear much, but he did hear 3 days. The Fire Ones come in with the sugar shipment. He heard, "The Daggerwind Company are watching the southern gate, you idiot. Use the Ivory Road." And the third piece of information is, the weapons go to the warehouse under the name Rufan, Rufaan, and keep your nose out of it or I'll break it.
Okay. Sorry, I was trying to get things written down. All right, so you say this sigil is a consortium that definitely has facilities near this Ivory Gate.
Yes, a boarding house.
What time of day is it getting to be? Because we said we have a meeting with his uncle tonight, correct?
Yeah, it's about 2 in the afternoon.
Okay. So, 3 days. Okay. Having been wandering about the city, are are there like street numbers like we modernly use in this city?
No,
Or,
no. It's all
Okay.
names. The Saffron Road, the Salt Way, mostly named after trade goods.
I mean, more for buildings.
Oh, like numbers? No.
No.
Buildings are usually described as being, north, south, east, or west of a particular intersection.
So how far are we from this Ivory Road gate?
The Ivory Road gate is maybe 10 or 15 minutes if we walk there. Yeah, it's not that far.
So I will look at the other two of my companions. Well, what do you think? Should we go look around this area? This 212, I wonder if perhaps some sort of location, but I don't know what it might mean. Oh, maybe it pertains to the 3 day. It was a little bit. Was this the man following your friend? Was he part of the argument, or?
He did not know. He says no. He says he didn't hear the man's voice, so he's not sure. But he started being followed like an hour after he overheard it.
Okay. And where was this tea house?
It was near the Ivory Road gate.
Okay. Well, unless anyone else has a better idea, I think we go mosey around that district a little bit and just see if anything.
We'll see if anyone else tries to stab us.
Well, that or is there a structure that's maybe got like two spires on each end and a center spire? I don't know. Any sort of, something like that where 212 might indicate a building? I mean, I don't know. That's just kind of my surface thoughts of what this might be, unless.
I think it's more likely somebody will stab us.
I mean, well, it's possible, but like I said, do
I'm
you
okay with that.
And what have you? So you said your name was Saelen? I don't want to seek trouble, but it seems trouble may be finding us. So, question, as far as the world, is 212 also possibly some sort of like, to use D&D terms, like a thieves' can't reference or like a, not obviously not a literal police code, but would that be maybe something where this was something this individual was given, saying we want a 212 done?
Like radio codes?
Yeah, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like it's some sort of, because you said we deciphered the first section of it to be a date. Like I'm just asking, is that something that is common in the world?
No, you wouldn't get that sort of code. It could potentially, however, be something along the lines of a room number.
Oh wait, boarding house room. Okay. So, Little Bat, you don't know. What do you know of this consortium that this sigil refers to?
He says, they mostly sell caravan supplies and such like, and they bought a boarding house about 3 years ago just to sort of expand what they do for caravan support. Kind of all in one. You can buy things for, you could buy supplies for the road, but you could also put your crew up for a couple of days before you leave out or something like that.
So, I don't know, Ben. I feel like we need to at least put eyes on it.
Let's get over there and check this out.
Yes. And kind of look at Saelen and you're welcome to come with us, although if you don't wish to be involved with whatever it is that we've gotten ourselves into, we're not obliged.
I would say that my chances of staying out of this mess, whether it's your mess, their mess, whoever's mess, probably vanishingly small, because a dead body turns up, people talk about who was there, what they saw, and then people start putting pieces together. So I am happy to follow you, at least until perhaps we can figure something out, and I can figure out if I'll need to be looking over my shoulder for the next however long I'm in the city.
Very well. So yeah, I think we go for a wander around this Ivory Road Gate district.
All right.
Intro and outro music by the band 12 Noon. You can email us at meandsteverpg@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter and RPGs. Find us on Facebook at Me and Steve RPG Podcast, on Discord at Me and Steve RPGs, and as always, all of these links are in the show notes. Thank you, and be kind to one another.
How much for the cigar?
Cigar, $20, dog. You gotta go down the street to the store and buy that.